Chapter 28. Know that there is nothing better for men than to be happy and to do good while they live, that everyone may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all his toil. This is the gift of God. Ecclesiastes 3:12 and 13. Old Charlie is a rather strange name for a bottlenose dolphin. Yet Old Charlie was exactly your typical dolphin. He liked to hang out in a quiet little inlet called Monkey Mia in Shark Bay, part of the remote northwestern territories of Australia. The year was 1956, and old Charlie had a fisherman friend who would occasionally toss the dolphin a fish or two. Not too many people knew very much about dolphins back then, but that was about to change in a very big way. The fisherman was just leaving the pier in his boat when he spied a school of anchovies inside the harbor. He quickly maneuvered to set his net, but at the last moment the school of fish escaped the closing net. Yet before he could pull in the empty net, old Charlie rushed into the harbor and chased the entire school of fish back into the mouth of the net. The fisherman was ecstatic with his catch. From that day forward, old Charlie occasionally helped the man catch fish, and in return he got all the fish he could eat. Dolphins being social creatures, old Charlie began bringing a few friends by, and pretty soon there was a whole pod of dolphins hanging out at Monkey Mia. This astounded the local people, who would flock to a nearby beach to feed the amiable dolphins. Sometimes special human-dolphin friendships would result. A sure indication that a dolphin liked a person was when it started bringing him or her fish. 23 years later, Monkey Mia is now world famous for its large pod of friendly dolphins, and I couldn't wait to see them. At sunrise, Alcyon sails into the quiet inlet with the morning tide and drops anchor a few hundred yards offshore. Captain Anton and I quickly launch a Zodiac and motor into the beach. Along the way, we pick up two dolphin hitchhikers who trail the inflatable into the beach. Captain, unable to contain his excitement, can't resist leaping into the water with them. Soon he is cavorting about, mimicking the unique swimming style of the dolphins, but only at 1/10 their speed. Anton and I drag the Zodiac up onto the beach, then head in the general direction of the large crowd. About 200 people are standing knee-deep in the water, while various dolphins swim up and down the beach, collecting friendly pets and an occasional fresh fish handout. A ranger is present to ensure that the crowd of people stays in the shallow water, so as not to alarm or endanger the dolphins. At the edge of the beach, there is a truck where people are buying fish to feed to the dolphins. One of the children in line looks rather odd. Then I realize that I'm looking at a 4 foot tall pelican. The bird named Wally is quite bold in his pursuit of fish. He has been known to ambush small children attempting to carry fish to the dolphins. Stepping out into the water, I spend the next couple hours photographing this unique human dolphin relationship. In the late afternoon, I'm standing in chest deep water when a mother dolphin arrives with her 2 month old calf. The hungry mother eagerly swims straight into the beach in search of a fish handout or two. The calf, however, is too shy to brave all the people. She swims nervously back and forth 30 yards from the shore. Lowering my head beneath the surface, I hear the calf calling nervously to its mother. Underwater, the high pitched squeaks have a haunting sound that I can't resist answering. Instantly, the calf hones in on my call and begins to curiously circle me. The calf, only about 3 feet long, is swimming sideways so she can peer up at me. I continue to squeak and chirp while standing in place so as not to startle her. Soon, Mom has a belly full of free fish and swims over to check me out. Apparently, I'm okay because she rubs once against my bare leg, then, calling to her baby, leads the calf back out to sea. That night, I fell asleep and dreamed that I was swimming in the open ocean with Bent Finn. The ranger on the beach told me the calf's name. The next morning, I'm the first one out on the stern of the Windship. Sitting on the deck, I sip a cup of hot chocolate while watching the sunrise. It is so quiet and pleasant, with a light trade wind blowing from the shore. Capkin steps out on deck, stretches, and we both hear a suspicious swish of water off the starboard side. We move to investigate, and there is a dolphin staring back up at us. He chirps a greeting, then continues his investigation of our zodiac floating in the water. Setting down my cup of hot chocolate, Capkin and I slip slowly into the water. The dolphin immediately swims over to look us over, and that's when we discover he has a friend. Abruptly, there is a group of dolphins swimming and darting everywhere. To our amazement, they are playing a game with an empty plastic sack. It's a modified version of tag. A dolphin will snag the plastic sack on its nose, then try to outswim the other dolphins. Whoever steals the plastic sack is now it. Capkin abruptly gets out of the water, and I wonder where he has gone when he suddenly returns with the largest pair of flippers I've ever seen. What are those? I asked in surprise. Competitive free diver fins, comes the enthusiastic reply. I'm going to take a turn at capturing that plastic bag. Capkin takes a long, deep breath, then his long 6'5" frame slips beneath the water. The last part of him to disappear are the long blades of the giant fins. I hustle out of the water to get a dive mask, then quickly return to watch the action. Despite the long fins, Capkin is totally outclassed. But what he lacks in speed, he makes up for in youthful enthusiasm. The dolphins seem to be teasing him, bringing the plastic sack closer and closer. One dolphin, daring a very close run toward Capkin with the sack, is abruptly blindsided by another dolphin. The resulting collision leaves Capkin with the sack firmly in his hand. He rises to the surface, takes a deep breath, places the sack on his nose, then begins to swim aggressively underwater, trying to lure in the dolphins. Only they're suddenly tired of the game. One after another, the group of dolphins heads for the beach, where the fish truck is just arriving. Reluctantly, Capkin climbs out of the water with his hard won plastic sack. He appears to be a little despondent about not being chased by the dolphins, then remembers he hasn't had breakfast yet. In his eagerness to get below, he leaves his new pair of super fins on deck. I wait until the hatch closes, qui- then quickly put on his monster fins and slip back into the water. It is amazing how much more quickly I can swim. I dart here and there, and just about the time I'm exhausted, I see a small shape hovering in the water. Bent Fin is back. I swim slowly in her direction, which only causes her to move further away. So I try staying in one place and click softly. The baby dolphin swims in a little closer, then darts away. Apparently, she prefers people whose feet are firmly planted in the sand. Then I glanced down at the monster fins hanging off my feet. Their long length makes me appear to be over 9 feet tall. I must have looked mighty scary to bent Finn. For a moment, I'm a little disappointed at not being able to swim with the baby dolphin. But then I realize how lucky I really am. What an awesome opportunity to just be in the water with the 2 month old calf. Floating in the warm ocean, I think how extraordinary it is to be blessed with such an exciting job. I know without doubt that I've never been happier, and I'm confident that the rest of my days will also be full of happiness and future adventures. Certainly things will probably go wrong here and there, but the Lord is my friend, and no matter what happens in my life, I will never face adversity nor carry a burden alone. Floating on the surface, watching the dolphins crowd around the few people on the beach, begging for fish, I suddenly remember that I haven't eaten yet this morning either. A few moments later, the monster fins lay in an abandoned pool of water on Alcyon's deck, while I hurry below to see how Captain is doing with our breakfast. Be bold and courageous. When you look back on your life, you'll regret the things you didn't do more than the ones you did. Jackson Brown.